This is my post-game thoughts, my immediate reaction right after watching the national championship game of Clemson versus Alabama. If it sounds a little disjointed, it's because I'm just going to read off exactly what I wrote down after the game, and we just go from there. But the first thing I want to say is just give Clemson credit. This is the first time ever a Nick Saban Alabama team has ever been blown out. 28-point loss is the biggest loss Alabama has seen under Nick Saban. The previous biggest deficit was 14 points. So this is the first time ever 3 touchdown or more loss has been given up. That's crazy to think about out of 11 years or 12 years now coaching this Alabama team. Another thing that came to mind is maybe Josh Jobe should have been starting from the beginning. After he replaced Savion Smith, I noticed his talent. He was running with Justin Ross really well, so that has me really excited for the future, actually. So Josh Jobe, I'm got my eyes on you for next year. Trevor Lawrence did what I thought he couldn't. He made plays even though the Clemson offense was relying on him. He proved me wrong. If you saw my video I made, I said he wouldn't be able to do this. I was wrong. He stood in there, he made throws, and he didn't wilt under the pressure. And this is despite the fact that they couldn't run the ball. The running stats may be skewed by that last couple of Clemson drives, but they could not run the ball on Alabama, and he still produced. Tua, man, he looked like a first-year starter tonight, which is crazy. Early on, Brent Venables made Tua's pre-snap reads wrong. So what I mean by that is that Tua read the pre-snap correctly. He saw what he saw in the defensive coverage, but Brent Venables did something that not a lot of people did this year. He had his defense change up their assignment and their formations, change the play basically last minute. And that led to those early picks, and that really threw Tua off at the beginning. The crazy part is that Tua and the staff, figured it out pretty quickly, but by then it was kind of too late. The damage had been done. Alabama had to pass, and the Clemson front was able to tee off. Weirdly enough, Tua still ended up 22 of 34 for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, but with those 2 interceptions. Those were dangerous. They led to some bad situations. But here was the real decider, in my opinion. In the second half, Alabama had 3 red zone trips that ended with a turnover on downs. That's 3 touchdowns that Alabama left on the field. Not to mention the field goal that they had to settle for at the end of the first half. That should have been a touchdown as well. And the penalties. So Alabama didn't have problems moving on Clemson. Alabama didn't have trouble moving the ball on Clemson. They had problems finishing. They had problems with execution, which is so uncharacteristic of a Nick Saban team. So lack of discipline on defense. It just caught up to them. They've been doing this all year long. If you watch my videos, I said, man, the communication between the linebackers is sloppy. The players aren't doing what they're supposed to do on defense. And it finally caught up with them against a team that has the talent and the coaching that Clemson has. Because here's the crazy part. Alabama had the lead in time of possession, and that became skewed at the end because Clemson held the ball for the last 10 minutes of the game. So Alabama, that final number doesn't even show you how big of a lead it was. Alabama had the lead in first downs, which, like I said, that last drive, Clemson got a lot of first downs. Alabama had more rushing yards, but Alabama had 2 turnovers and 6 penalties. Clemson had 1 penalty. Alabama was only 4 of 13 on third downs. When you tally up the yards at the end, Clemson had 482 yards. Alabama had 443. So Alabama's lack of execution really helped determine the outcome of this game. Clemson played well enough to win, but Alabama didn't do its part to really challenge them enough because of the mistakes that they made. And I'm going to do some analysis of this game because I was really excited about what I saw. A lot of talented players on the field, a lot of good plays made and a lot of bad plays made, and I want to analyze them all. So be on the lookout for my breakdowns of some certain plays. But thanks for watching, and let me know what you all think about the game. How do you feel about this matchup? What do you think went wrong? Do you feel Clemson just flat out dominated Alabama? Do you feel like Alabama made more mistakes? combination of the two, let me know.